Hey, sixth graders, happy Wednesday. It is April 29th, and our goal today is to review for the test. That is our goal. You are going to take your Unit 7 test tomorrow, which means that today my goal is to give you some practice with certain types of questions that will be on your test tomorrow. Just as a reminder, we've covered 18 lessons within Unit 7. We started with learning what negative numbers were, ordering those on a number line. We moved into comparing their value using inequality signs. Then we wrote inequalities based on real world situations or story problems. We continued on with graphing solutions of inequalities on a number line. And then most recently, we have worked on the greatest common factor and the least common multiple, which are concepts that you use when you do things like find common denominators or simplify fractions, and that we have started using to solve story problems. So that is our goal today, is to kind of review a little bit from all of that stuff. Oh, and one really important thing I almost forgot is we plotted points on the coordinate plane, right? So what I want to talk about today before we dive into a few guided practice questions is just a reminder that in order to be successful, it is really important that you watch the whole video and that you take notes and follow the directions within the video. So I wanted to show you a quick graph that people who work in sales use, and also I like to refer to when I teach my students. What this graph shows on the x-axis is amount of effort. So where on the x-axis do you find a lot of effort? Do you find it over here or over here? Yeah, you're right. You find it all the way over here. This is high effort. And where do you find high success? Yeah, high success is here. So if you want high success, notice that you've got to put in high effort. Notice if you put in high effort, you have high success, meaning your scores are better, right? For my students who are not watching the video fully, you might be lower over here on the effort and your scores are lower, and there's not much you can do about that except put in more effort, and that's going to raise your success. Does that make sense? So I just want to remind you of this. Maybe I'll do this, if I plotted the students who were and were not watching the video and showed you their average scores, you would see that big difference. So I'll plan to include that sometime this week or next week for you. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into some practice. Below the video is a link. We're going to do guided practice and independent practice in the same link, the same assignment. So I'll be able to tell that you watched the entire video if you get the guided practice questions 1 through 6 totally correct. Okay, and that's really going to help you as you prepare for your test tomorrow. So go ahead and make sure you have your notes. We're going to just start with a question together. I'm going to write Unit 7 test review. This is a great sheet of paper to make sure you save for tomorrow. You should, I really encourage you to use your notes as you take your test tomorrow. So when you see a question on your test tomorrow that's like the one we're going to do together right now, number 1, I want you to have this out and look at it so you can remember those things we talked about. It really, really helps you to do well. Okay. All right, number 1, on this number line, graph the inequality. X is, what inequality symbol is that? Greater than, you got it. X is greater than -1. So I'm gonna actually draw it on my paper first. X is greater than -1. Let's put a number line. I'm gonna put 0, I'm gonna put -1, and I'll put -2. So the first thing I'm going to decide is, should I have an open circle or a closed circle? You're right, I should have an open circle. That's because -1 is not a solution. If this were greater than or equal to -1, I would have a closed. I would have a, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and put an open circle on -1 because it's not a solution. And then I'm wondering, where are the numbers that are greater than -1? Are they to the right? Or are they to the left? They are to the right. So I'm going to draw an arrow to the right because I know that numbers that come on the right on the number line are greater. Make sure your paper looks like mine. Awesome. Let's go ahead and translate this into our graph, okay? Our graph, I'm gonna look at these inequality arrows here. I know I need an arrow to the right, so I'm gonna pick one of these two. And I know I need an open circle, so I'm gonna pick this one. I just click on it and notice how it has that gray outline. That just means I selected it. Then all I need to do to graph is click with my mouse where I want it to start. So I want it to start at -1. So I'm gonna go over to -1 and I'm gonna click here and it graphs for me my number line. That is all I need to do. If you make a mistake, you can click undo to get rid of it, or reset will give you a blank one. So again, I just want this graph, it's selected on -1. Cool. Go ahead and pause the video here and do that on your own. Awesome. So you should have a tab open with this video and a tab open with your guided practice. Make sure this question is answered so that you're getting it correct and you get credit for watching the video. Let's move on to question 2. I want you to try this one on your own. I'm going to put 1 minute on the timer. You're working on question 2. Time starts now. Don't forget to update your paper. "30 seconds left. We're trying to graph that inequality W is less than or equal to 4. Last 10 seconds. Go ahead and select the answer you think is correct, and then we'll check it. All right, here is my thinking. For question number 2, I know that the inequality was W is a less than or equal to 4. I chose a closed circle because 4 is a solution, and all the numbers that are less than or equal to 4 are to the left. So in my Jelastic, I'm going to pick an arrow to the left for less than, and I'm going to close that circle, infinite closed left it says. So I just click it to select it. I can see that gray outline, and then I'm going to start that graph on 4. So I just come over here and click on 4. Okay. Again, if you made a mistake, I want you to pause the video here in just a second, click reset or undo, and go ahead and update your answer. That way I can tell you got number 2 correct. Awesome. We're ready to move on to number 3. Just a reminder, 1 and 2 you should already have answered in Jelastic, okay? All right, question 3. What is the greatest common factor of 24 and 64? On your paper, can you set up question 3? So we're switching gears. We're not doing inequalities right now. We're going to find the GCF of 24 and 64. I'm just writing that on my paper so I don't need to flip back and forth, okay? I want you to put this on your paper as well, because when you are going to work on your test tomorrow, if you have this label, you're going to easily be able to find this question again, so you can make your work look just like this work, okay? So if I want to find the greatest common factor of these numbers, I need to find all the factors of these numbers, okay? Remember, factors are what it takes to multiply to get these numbers. So I know factors of 24 are 1 and 24. Does 2 go in evenly? Oh yeah, 2 times 12, you got it. Does 3 go in evenly? Does 3 go into 24? Yes, 3 does go in evenly. 3 times 8, great work. Does 4 go in evenly? It sure does, 4 times 6, very good. Does 5 go in evenly? No, it doesn't. So those are all the factors of 24. Let's do 64. 1 times 64. Does 2 go in evenly? Yes, 2 times 32, nice job. Does 3 go in evenly? That's tricky. I don't know if 3 goes in evenly, but I do know my divisibility rule for 3 is if I add these digits together and then check if that number is divisible by 3. So 6 plus 4 is 10. Is 10 divisible by 3? No. So 3 is not does not go into 64 evenly. Does 4? 4 does. If 2 does and if 8 does, then I know that 4 does. 4 times 16 is 64. Okay, and then what about 5? Does it go in evenly? Nope. 6? No, 3 doesn't go in, so 6 can't go in. 7? Nope. 8? Yes, 8 times 8 is 64. So I'm just going to leave an 8 in the middle. All right, there's all the factors of 24 and 64. Please circle the common factors. The common factors are 1, 2, 4, and 8. What is the greatest common factor? It's 8. Okay, let's go ahead and answer question 3 in Jelastic. The greatest common factor is 8. Pause the video here and do that now. All right, we're going to move on to question 4. You're going to do a question just like this to solidify all of that learning so that you can then do it on your test tomorrow. Go ahead and find the greatest common factor of 36 and 27, and then meet me back here. Timer is set for 1 minute. Go. We are answering question 4. Last 10 seconds. Double check 36. It has lots of factors. All right, do you think you got your GCF correct? I hope so. All right, what is the greatest common factor of 36 and 27? Here is my work for question 4. Please check your factors for 36. There are 9 factors of 36. And check your factors for 27. The greatest common factor is 9. Please put a big star on your paper next to this question if you got it correct on your own. If you didn't, pause the video and update your paper. All right, let's enter our answer in Jelastic. The greatest common factor is 9. That's answer choice C. Awesome. So you should have questions 1 through 4 entered in Jelastic. Here we go. We're working on question 5. Question 5, what is the least common multiple between 9 and 6? Let's jot that on our paper. Here's question 5. I want to find the LCM of, I already forgot, 9 and 6. Again, make sure your paper looks like mine, including this note. It might seem like extra work, but it's there so that when you're taking your test and you see a least common multiple problem, you have this reference. So if I'm trying to find the least common multiple, I need to list multiples of 9 and 6. So let's go ahead and do 9. Remember, multiples is skip counting. Multiples is absolutely 9, 18, 9 times 3, 27, 9 times 4, 36, 9 times 5, 45, 9 times 6, 54. Okay, let's stop there and see if we can find the least common multiple, starting with multiples of 6. Ready? 6, 12, 18, 24, Wait a second. I could keep going, but guess what? I already found the least common multiple. Are there more? Absolutely. This is the least of all the common multiples. LCM is 18. Pause here if you need more time to update your paper. Let's enter that in Jelastic. Least common multiple is 18. Pause the video and make sure that's entered now. All right, we're ready to move on to question 6. This one is on your own. You are going to find the least common multiple of 12 and 18. You're answering question 6. You have 1 minute. Ready? Go. You've got 20 seconds left. Answering question 6 in Jelastic. Make sure you've written down that skip counting. All right, there is our time. Go ahead and compare your work to my work. Here's the least common multiple of 12 and 18. It is 36. Please put a big star next to that question if you got it right. Nice work. All right, let's go ahead and enter our answer. The least common multiple is 36. That is answer choice E. Go ahead and enter that now in Jelastic. Sweet. So here are some important instructions. You are going to pick up on question 7. We're not going to do questions 7 through 11 together. Questions 7 through 11 will be graded for accuracy. So we're just trying to see how you can do. And this is our final chance to review before the test. I should see so many of you in office hours today to make sure that you've got these correct answers. And just as a reminder, I'm going to show you what it looks like to submit. Now, I haven't answered all the questions, so you need to make sure to answer all these questions. But I want to show you what happens. So I can see that questions 1 through 6 I got correct because we did them together. These bars 7 through 11, you're going to see either red or green. If it's green, it means you got it right. If it's red, it means you got it wrong. And what I want you to do is click on that bar, and it's going to take you to your answer for that question. My bars are gray because I didn't answer these. That's for you to do, okay? Once you get here, it's going to tell you what part was right and what part was wrong, and that's really going to help you study for your test. So make sure to check out what was wrong about your answer if you made any mistakes, okay? Tomorrow is our test, so make sure we're studying. We're going to office hours. We've got our notes handy from today, but also from our whole time from online learning. You're welcome to use any of those resources, and you can always go back and rewatch videos if you need a little bit of extra practice, let's say with plotting points or with greatest common factor or with inequalities. Go back to those lessons or go back to your notes to study. You guys are going to crush it, and I can't wait to see that tomorrow. Great work. Have an awesome day.